Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your day so far here at the Governor's Summit. This is our marketing, build your brand, targeted marketing through social media techniques. My name is MJ Miller. I will serve as your moderator for this panel. I am the executive director of the Uvalde Chamber of Commerce, and I have a little bit of marketing backgrounds. And I'm excited to hear from our two panelists to be able to learn more just like you. And so I'll go ahead and allow them to introduce themselves.
Thank you so much. My name is Kennan Buckner, and my husband Marcus and I run Marken Media Co. down in Devine. We started in 2017, and we help busy business owners with their websites and marketing. We've helped agribusinesses, churches, realtors, service providers, all those help them match their 5-star reviews with their online first impression. So the way we work is we start with a 15-minute call. So if you have any interest, we would love to talk with you more about problems that we can help you solve in your business. And we also have tons of free workshops that we've hosted and recorded that are on our website at markenmediaco.com/freebies.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Kennan.
Okay, it's so great to be here. And I am James Cho from Rio Grande College of the Business, Sorrel State University. And I kind of really exciting to meet you guys here. I believe that you guys are hungry for marketing, right? Okay, back to NJ.
So I know that this is the last session right before lunch, so we're gonna keep it as short and sweet as we possibly can, but not take away from the information that we're here to share with you. And so we do have some pre-submitted questions, and the way that we'll go is I'll ask our panelists, and they'll kind of piggyback off of each other just to be able to share all the information. All right, so our first question that we have, and we'll direct it towards Kennan. What are some of the most effective marketing strategies you've seen for small or growing businesses?
All right, that's a big one. First, you need to have a strategy, and that's one of the places we start. When we first meet with small business owners, we start with what we call the Marken map, and basically this is just our way of addressing who you are as a business, where you've been and where you want to go. And so you really have to start with those big, lofty questions of like, who is my ideal client? Who's been the best person that I've served so far, and who do I want more of? And then we work you through our process so that we can help answer some of those core identity questions. And then we also give you that plan so that you can either hire us to do it for you or move forward. Most people hire us. But you'll want to start with having that big goal and addressing those needs of your ideal client.
Sure. So they might want to have some sort of idea in their head of what they're looking for and who their target audience is. Does that tie into maybe like logo and what the color scheme, or is that something that y'all kind of all figure out together?
Right. One of the stories I wanted to share was one of the small businesses we first helped back in early 2018, I believe. She had a wedding venue that was charging, we've got really bad echo up here. I don't know if y'all can fix that for me. But she charged about $10,000 for her wedding packages, but her website had kind of a camp feel. And so when you're trying to track brides for weddings, you need to really think about what does that look like. So we were able to take her Camp Vibe logo that was DIY that she had started, which was good to get her off the ground, and really give her almost that wine bottle feel. And it really helped her be able to promote herself not only to brides, but to especially mothers of brides who are helping them secure their venue. So that's one of the things we looked at with her is maybe her target audience initially would be Instagram, because that's where her brides were going to be, her potential brides. But the mothers of the brides are on Facebook, so she couldn't neglect that platform either. So we helped her just create a cohesive look, everything from her logo and print collateral, as well as a website that would make it easy for people to see all the things that her venue had that other people didn't. Her fully restored 100-year-old barn, 3 homes on the property where guests of the bridal party could stay, and things like that. So we're all about bringing out those good elements that you have that maybe because you're in the weeds of your business, you've kind of forgotten to point out and celebrate those as key differentiators in your market.
Sure. Well, thanks for sharing all of that information. Dr. James, is there anything you'd like to add to that question, please?
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a huge a question about the marketing strategy. Actually, you look at the marketing strategy that we have right now is changed a lot. If you compare with the last 3 decades, that's totally different right now. But if you're talking about the scale of the business that we have, this question is small or growing marketing or growing the business. We have to divide it as 2 parts of the business. We focus on the first one, the small. Small as you have discussed with your size of business first. So try to get the size of business to support your benefit, support your profit organization. That's you have to focus on. So before you start your small business, you have to do some research. The size of how large the size that you needed to reach. Okay, so you have to do this research first, and later, and after you have enough the size, to consider the CRM first. In the marketing field, that we always mention about that most of the task you have to do after you gain the customers. So most of the things that you have dealing with the marketing issues when you have the customers. But you look at a lot of businesses, they kind of dangerous. They try to get the new customers, but they're not dealing with exactly the customers' relationships. So if you go into the second phase of the business, which that we mentioned in this question, is growing businesses. So you have to focus on the customers that you have so far and try to get a good relation with them. And later on, you have a lot of marketing strategies you can do. For example, you can word of mouth marketing, you have referral marketing, those kind of the marketing strategy that you can go deeper and exercise them. So the question is quite slow, quite large, but you gotta focus what the fastest of your business right now and what kind of question that you want to solve, and take the right tool, take the right strategy at your point. Okay, that's my comments. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, for sharing that. I hope that gave a little bit of more insight. And again, effective marketing is knowing your audience and knowing what platform you're using. And I think that Kennan targeted that, and she was, when she mentioned that you wouldn't put your older audience on Instagram and vice versa. And, Dr. James as well gave his insight. So thank you both for that. Our second question that we have: how can businesses effectively identify and reach their target audience? Dr. James.
Well, I take the point not because I'm from university, not because I'm from higher education. I would like to say research will be the fundamental issue when you're going to extend or going to have your business. Look at that, the question here, someone asks about a targeted audience. So you got to figure out who is your segmentation, who is your targeting customer that you're going to focus on. And pick up the right social media, or pick up the right tools to gain in the market. That's you need it. So do the research at your customers first to understand what's the personality, what is the activity they would like to do, and what kind of content they enjoy or they interested to learn. That's you have to focus on. So that we call the accurate marketing strategy as well. If you do it a different way or you do it the wrong way, you just waste time, waste your financial resource, human resource, this kind of the waste there. Okay, so I would like to say study and fundamental research is quite important at the beginning. And if you do it the right way, everything is right along with your business. If you do it wrong, data, information, that you get the different way. That's a totally changing.
So it sounds like research is a great starting point, just to be able to know who your audience is, know your customer, and what you're selling, and make sure that they align. Kennan.
Sure. I wanted to just add also to focus on the problem that you solve and not focus on what you're selling. Because your ideal customers, they want to know that you can solve their problem. They don't really care the nitty gritty of what's on sale. You know, we're just going to scroll right past that, or if it's an email that we're getting. But if you can address what is that core problem that you're solving, and just press on the bruise a little bit, and show how you're the solution to that problem, that'll show you real quick who your customers are going to be.
Awesome. Well, thank you both again. Now, I know that everything changes constantly, trends, right? We know that there's the TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's all these different platforms. So with the trends constantly changing, how do you recommend businesses stay ahead of the curve in their marketing efforts? Kennan, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I would say start with building some core content that you're going to share no matter what platform it is. Those core content pieces would be focused on the fears, needs, wants, and aspirations of your ideal client. And so that's kind of what we put our customers through, or our clients through, is that grid of what problem they're solving, what are their core values, what they want to be known for, and then it doesn't matter which platform you're using or the platform of the decade, because those are going to be the same core content pieces that you're going to use regardless of the platform. And then I'd also just say have a personal brand, show the faces of your staff or your team, even if it's just like my husband and myself. We recognize that we're the face of our brand, so we got to get comfortable putting our face out there. I mean, if you would have told 15 years ago me that I would sit up here with a microphone and I'd be smiling about it, I would be sweating bullets. And so you still have to get on that roller coaster and do things that maybe make you uncomfortable, but in the end are going to grow your business. So whether that's getting in front of Facebook Live and just saying, I'm going to do a live a week, and I'm going to show up in a consistent way, and I'm going to share the knowledge I have that's going to help solve my customer's problem or my ideal customer's problem, you're going to then be known for the fixer for that problem. And so whether they have that issue today or they have it tomorrow or their neighbor has it, you're going to be top of mind.
So just circling back to what you mentioned, it was consistency. How important is it to remain consistent on your platforms?
I think you need to teach people what to expect from you. And I've struggled with this myself, even when it comes to our email marketing that I do just for us. I have to have a written plan and make it achievable for you. If you're trying to post to like 5 different social media platforms and you're going to do it this year, maybe that's too big for you to chew. Maybe you need to start small, start with what you can do well, start with what you're familiar with, and then grow from there, or have maybe someone on your team that's younger help you with some of the other platforms. But I think consistency is just developing a plan for yourself. Like I'm gonna post once a day and then committing to that so that people know what to expect from you. Because if you just drop off the face of the planet, it makes you look closed, or it makes you look like maybe you're not in that business anymore, and it can confuse your customer base and the people that are following you.
Sure. Dr. James, is there any advice of how to stay ahead of the curve in marketing?
Oh, well, I think that we just take the attitude, like we stand on the wave of the change, okay? So if you stay close with the change, they will have the higher position to look at what the change in the market. How to get that the position? You should stay with your customers. That's I just mentioned that you have data in everyday business that you're running. So collect the data, keep the data, be well the analyze process, and find out something that change in your customers or in your market. By the way, there's some story that I just mentioned in the last section. They made, I think it's one of the cases mentioned by Dr. Sengoda. She said that one of the company have the business with the Costco, but finally they just lost the business and lost their company. The reason is they not stay close with the customers. On the customers, they have any change or anything that happen in the market. If they find out or they close with the customers, they will find out the problem and get a solution to dealing with the problem. So they kind of predicted the problem before the problem happened. So the changes we cannot do anything. Particular for today that we talking about the small business. That's the total system issues. So we cannot change. But only thing that we can do is stand with the wave of the change. Okay. So based on the question, really critical issues. Small business is quite need to have research skills, not the skill. The research process of research skills is not just be used by the large company. I believe the small company, they really need that because they have to take the step before the huge company they're doing. And also they are small. Your company is small, will be more flexible to take any action to turn any angle or direction before the huge company. Okay, so by the way, there's one thing that we already know. This generation of the customers, they have a really low loyalty. So we have to take the action, and we are more easier to turn the way to match the small customers they need it. So I think that there are no conflict with the business that we run in every day. Just look at the change wave, which way they're going down right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like the way to tackle the wave is to look ahead and develop a plan. And I think that is the foundation of your marketing plan. I mean, you're not going to go and just make a post and then never follow up anything. You want to make sure that you have scheduled posts, even on just a piece of paper, even if you don't have anything created or captions yet, just figure out what you're trying to do. I know that with the chamber and the visitor center that we have, that's my goal, is to develop a plan on paper first. What month we're doing what we're highlighting, and just go from there. That could fall into all of your businesses and maybe what you want to highlight, what sales, what you're celebrating. So just keep that in mind of developing a plan and looking ahead. And I think that's fantastic. And so let's talk about small business owners who want to have a strong social media presence, but maybe are a little overwhelmed. And so for those small businesses who feel overwhelmed by marketing, where should they start to get the most impact? Kennan.
I think if you're looking for impact, you need to get a good pulse on your current customer base and where they are connecting with you. If your best clients are connecting with you on a certain platform, I would pay attention to that. I would also, thinking back to some of the restaurant owners and things like that we've helped, and even bakery owners, there was a lot of content already existing for them on these platforms that was posted by their customers that they weren't aware of because they didn't go search their name on the platform. And so they missed out on connecting with that person, maybe commenting or sharing that person's post that was created for them. So I would start there. Be really aware of who's already tagging you and interact with those posts. You can also be very in tune with who is connecting with you just by maybe direct messaging a new follower and giving them a coupon code for their next purchase. Those are just small little touches that make a big impact because it gives them a chance to interact with you as a brand. And it's not in a way that you're asking something from them, you're giving to them. So I think anytime that you can give on your social media instead of just asking for the sale, that's really going to help build your authority in whatever market you're in, whether you're business to business or business to customer. And then another tip we always share is that because you are the face of your brand, you can spend about 25% of your personal posts on your page about your business. Don't forget that your friends and family want to hear about it too. And then you can flip-flop that for your business page, and about 25% of the time, make it about your personal life. Make it about getting to know you as a person, because the people, as it was mentioned earlier, just like bankers are lending to people, your customers are buying from a person, and you're dealing with a person. And so anything that you can do just to showcase who your team is, maybe there's different traditions that you have in your company, like you meet every Wednesday or you celebrate people's birthdays. Sharing those things helps build that commonality and helps people see the faces behind the brand that they're hopefully going to be making purchases from.
It's fantastic. I liked what you said. It was almost just making it personal, and it's not so much just it's selling, but giving back to that customer, to your consumer. Dr. James, what would you tell a small business and how they could get started?
Okay, when we discuss about the small business, which does mean you have a small size of the customers group, right? So you probably, we assume you probably realize what your customers look like. For example, what they buying every day or what they buying before. So you can, if you have this the data online, you will find out did they change something in their buying they're buying buying car or something. So you can promote some of the products they probably need in the future or next few months. So just doing this kind of promotion to targeted customers or accurate customers to buy your product. This come up more good the ROI or returns back to your company. And also, as I know that a lot of small company, they ask someone to help them to have a website or to build up the Facebook or this kind of social media. But it's kind of just a logo or something there. They're not doing or they're not processing the analyze what kind of customers or what kind of audience look at it in their website or social media, as well as they not care about the question what they ask. The question they ask, they concern, they interest. So there's probably come up some of the business opportunity to you in the future or recently. So look at the data and do some of the analyze become the information to set up your marketing strategy is quite important. They come up, the customer already come in your website or your store. That's kind of an opportunity to you a lot, right? So just try to get the key point or critical concern by your customers who they are going to be your potential customers in the future. Okay, that's my idea.
That's fantastic advice. Thank you for sharing that. So keeping the small businesses in mind, you want the biggest bang for your buck. And what platforms are currently offering the best return of investment for small businesses, Dr. James?
There's no, the market is right, is really cruel, right? So if you stay with your customer, you have no reason you not understand what your customers need in the future and right now or in the future. And small business, they have a future is flexible. So if you're not quite flexible to react to your customers' needs, there's no sense to do that. But back to the question, or back to my idea, study or research skill is best way to start your business. Yeah.
Fantastic. Kennan?
And I would just add that algorithms are always changing. they're usually not changing to our benefit as small business owners. So you need to prioritize what you can have control over. And we find like a lot of people haven't even stopped lately to Google themselves and see what pops up when they search their business name. One of our customers that we helped through the Marken map process, we showed him what popped up whenever we brought up his, he was in the RV repair business, and what popped up on Google was the image of a home. And it wasn't even it had his business name, but it was the image of a home at that location. And so that could really be a turnoff for people that aren't familiar with you at all yet. Maybe they just heard your name or somebody recommended you and they went and Googled you and that was what they saw. So it doesn't look like the legitimate business, right? It wasn't a photo of his shop that was huge and had a staff and a team ready to help. So I would just say taking that step back and look at what the outsider is going to see. I think it was in a Seth Godin book I read about what Starbucks was training their people to do, and they would tell their manager at the time, they would have to step out of the store and walk in as a customer and look at all the signage, look at the bakery area, and try to have the eyes of a customer. So if you can do that just as yourself for your own small business, pretend that you're a customer for a second and see what those first impression moments are, and are things that you need to improve. Is your signage faded and ripped and horrible? Is your team not showing up in uniform? All those little pieces have an impact. And so what we always guide people to is to control what you can control, and you can control your website, right? You can control what pops up on your Google business page. All those things, if they're cohesive and they match, it'll make a lasting impact when people are searching for you and trying to find you, the person that can solve their problems. So take a step back and look at the big picture and see what those first-time people might be seeing.
I like that, and that's almost the biggest investment that you can make, is taking that step back, putting yourself in the customer's shoes and saying, oh my goodness, my storefront maybe it's a little tidying up, or my office, or whatever it is. It's the small things that it sounds like that make the big difference. And you're promoting yourself with your business. That's your brand. You want people to know you because of this, XYZ, whatever it may be. But taking that step back could make a huge difference. Now let's talk about some mistakes, maybe. What do you both see are the most common mistakes, whether that's social media or branding, that businesses make, and how can we avoid them?
Okay. To avoid this kind of mistakes, I remember I told it in my class to my students. If you're going to post or announce any information to your audience or customers, be sure there's one criteria, easy criteria called ROI. But this ROI is not a financial ROI. We call that relevant. That's the first spell. Relevant, original, and impact. So consider the three kind of things related to your customers and your product or your company mission that will be safe to promote any information to public. Okay, and before that, you have a security process. Before you public those kind of the information to public, you have a security process. You have to like a supervisor review or manager review and post that. Now that readily you have idea put the information that will be sometimes you have some mistake or something. It's not an idea. It's probably like a spell problem or any unintentional purpose. So I would like to make it easier as you think about your information ROI concept. That's my idea.
Sure, yeah. A mistake that maybe you see, Kennan, what advice can you share to help them not make those mistakes?
Right. So besides just not taking that step back, another thing we see is maybe not interacting with people on their page. So if you've got a question out there that you never replied to, or if maybe sometimes you do, the 1 in 100, you get that bad review and you're not sure how to address it and respond to it. That's one of the things that we always encourage people to do, because there is a human on the other end of that, but also there's people watching how you're responding to those reviews or not responding at all. So those would be some key takeaways, is just don't be afraid to interact as your page on those comments, on those questions, and make sure that you do it quickly. If you're going to be slow to respond, I mean, a lot of these apps have auto responses that you can put in there so that people know, hey, I don't check this regularly, call me at the office, or whatever it's going to be. Make sure that you just allow them a mode of contact in order to get a hold of you, because you don't want to miss out, right? Another big one we see is like if you have an online form on your website, but you're not checking that, or you're not making sure that you're getting all of those inquiries, that's a big missed opportunity. We had that just personally. My husband and I, with 2 different companies, filled out an online form, and it's been a couple of weeks now. And you know what we did? We didn't wait. We went and found somebody else who did respond to us, and that's who we're working with. So you want to make sure that those channels that people are reaching out to you for potential leads, that you're not missing those somehow. Run a test on it. Go to your own website on your online form and fill it out, and make sure that it's coming to the right email, and make sure that's getting checked, because that's a big one.
So earlier you had mentioned that the algorithm is constantly changing. Commenting back and answering questions, can that help the algorithm maybe on your page?
Yes. Anytime you're interacting, Facebook and Instagram, they're going to see that as a positive. So anytime you're getting questions or comments or views, that's only going to help you. I think of what was mentioned earlier about just having the ROI in mind. A lot of us, we're wearing all the hats in our business, like it was spoken earlier. And so if you're not seeing it lead to customers, then don't worry about it. Focus on maybe your email list, if that's where you're getting response, or focus on maybe a different form of advertising that is working for you. Because when you are wearing all the hats, it can feel like a burden, like I have a new thing I have to learn, I have a new thing I have to be in charge of. But if you will just take those small opportunities, like to DM or to thank a new follower, or to thank someone when they share your post. Go on there as your business and thank them for sharing it, and maybe include a link to a new sale or something that's an offer for them. Those are opportunities to interact as a person on your business.
Small steps, everybody. Small steps that can make a lasting impact for your page, for your social, for your brand. And here they are, right in front of you. Yeah, it's things that we may be doing, just need to strengthen it up just a little bit. But earlier was mentioned those auto replies. Those are great. We have them on our page, but don't let it be the only message that they get from you. Follow back, follow up, right? We want them to know that we're people, you're people, and have that personal connection. So now, any last statements, any last messages that either of you have? I know that Kennan, you are a small business, leading other small businesses. Any stories from yourself or Dr. James, something you share with your students?
Okay, marketing is hard, I know, but marketing is a fundamental issues. The mean is there's no step, and there's no straight before you go on your research at your targeted customers. And also the target customers that you have really clear define what the phases of the business you're going to focus on. So wrote the kind of the picture that you have to go back to the really fundamental research stuff and get on your strategy focused on the phases that the question or the phases that you come from with right now. So it's need a patience. I mean, just come back to study at the business that you're interested in, what is the customer that you're going to focus at this moment, and become the different picture of your business. You have to take another process, another strategy to focus on. So any of the different questions or any of the different issues with your marketing issue that you have to take the independent study again. So try to this kind of way and make sure that it's safety or it's a low risk to your business. Business school is the only thing that we can teach our students is not 100% make sure your business is successful, but we can reduce the risk that you're going to involve. That's for sure. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that when it gets a little challenging, it's again, taking that step back, maybe starting over, but don't see it as a defeat. It's back to the basics. Where did I begin? Let's reevaluate and start over. Kennan.
Yes, I wanted to share a story I share in some of our small business workshops we've hosted. If you ever watch The Office, when they're at a Christmas party and Bob Vance comes in and he's introducing himself and he's like, "Hi, I'm Bob Vance. Hi, I'm Bob Vance." And he goes around and then they say, "What do you do? What kind of industry are you in?" And you have to think that way about yourself. You have to say it so many times. I even chuckle because sometimes we get things from extended family members where they're just totally out of the loop and we're like, "We've done this for 7 years and you do not know that." So you have to repeat yourself often. And so one of the easiest ways to repeat what you do and the problem you solve is just to have a little closing caption at the end of all your posts. And it's not annoying because to me as a reader, if I know you and I've seen it before, I've seen your new caption and then I see the little closing and I know I've seen that before. But if you want to see mine, you can just find me on LinkedIn because I use it a lot. And it's just a quick introduction. I'm Kennan and Marcus Buckner. We help small businesses. It says what we do. And then I have just a quick little freebie link. So that's something that you can incorporate into the post that you do. Hey, we're Vance Refrigeration and we've helped small businesses, and say how long you've done it, maybe a quick credential, and then end with what your plug is, what is your offer. And that's like a really quick, easy way to always have a call to action. And it doesn't come across as annoying or repetitive because you're putting that with your other new content that you're posting. So I would just say, don't be afraid to repeat yourself because somebody's going to be standing right there and say, what industry are you in? So just repeat it loudly and often. And also I always want to, when I get that opportunity, I always want to encourage small businesses, especially if you were in business before the pandemic and you made it through the pandemic lockdowns. Like you're doing a good thing and you're solving problems for people and you're helping your communities. And just the fact that you exist is amazing. So keep investing in yourself, keep learning new things, and you will reap the rewards in the future.
That's fantastic. So could we have a show of hands of any small businesses that made it through the pandemic? Fantastic. Round of applause, everyone. What you're doing it great. Keep up the great work. So this has been fantastic information up here. I hope that you've taken away something, but do you have any questions for our panel at this time? I'm going to start picking on some of you. Oh, perfect. Chance Newtsy in the back. Any questions for marketing of First State Bank of Uvalde? All right, everyone. Well, we know that this is the lunch break approaching, so we thank you for your time. We thank you for being here, and we thank our panelists once again.